In a sea of trillions of images, what is the one thing, above all else, that separates good images from bad ones? And I'm talking about objectively good images here. Images that, if you were to show to, say, 100 different people, over 50% of them would say the photo was objectively good. What is the thing that people refer to as good in the image, and how do they determine it? Whether it's consciously or, as is the case most of the time, subconsciously. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video, which is the next installment of my Beginner's Guide series, the series where I teach creative skills for the new content creator. In the last few videos, we've been talking about basic skills and basic gear choices, but now we're going to be diving into more of the art and the vision side of things. The choices that we make in our images and videos that make the difference regardless of what gear we end up using. But if you want to skip all of this and want to learn all there is to know about the creative skill of photography, then check out my 30-day Photography Fundamentals course, which I will leave a link to in the description box below, of course. Okay, what do you think is the most important thing about composition? The most important thing to include, the most important rule, the most important element that every good composition needs to have? Pause the video right now and comment what your guess is before we dive into the rest of the video. In my opinion, the most important thing in a composition is the thing that you're wrapping the entire composition around, the subject. Now, before you say, duh, no shit, hear me out and let me explain this to you in a more expansive way. Your image is only as strong as the subject itself. The subject is the proverbial ceiling, the limiting factor, the thing that determines how strong or how weak the image can be. What you shoot is arguably more important than how you shoot it, although both are most certainly important. And if you've watched my visual pattern series here on YouTube, you'll know that how you shoot things is super, super important, but it's always going to be limited by what you shoot. The what is the subject. The how are the methods and the techniques you use to accentuate the subject and the tools that you use to craft your message and push it forward. Great photographers and videographers understand this. You know, the goal of all compositions, whether done via photo or video, is to have a composition that is easy for the viewer to orient themselves in and understand the context of, and is therefore easy for the viewer to then understand. But how do you find good subjects? Well, it takes practice and work to refine what is interesting to you. No surprise there. But maybe it might be bold colors, or strong textures, or silhouettes, or old people, or cute dogs. Whatever you're interested in taking an image of over a long enough time horizon, and I'm talking about years here, find what speaks to you and what subjects you find yourself drawn to, and then deliberately practice shooting them and making them stand out with compositional techniques. And eventually you'll find the combination that works for you the best over a lot of trial and error. This is why I absolutely adore minimal or simple images. Strong, simple subjects are my favorite types of photos because I find they're the most effective way to illustrate what I'm trying to do. That's why you'll never see me taking photos of super busy images of anything really, unless I feel like they add to the composition. Because the more elements you have diluting your composition, the harder it could potentially be for the viewer to understand what's going on and know what's important in your composition and why. You know, I shoot many different categories of photography, but above all else, I always keep my subjects simple and strong. But of course, a concept this abstract requires examples, so let's dig into some. So this is an image that all of you who have watched my visual pattern series are familiar with. And if we break it down, it's an image of a woman running across a crosswalk. And, you know, I'm using visual patterns such as framing and centering and shadowing and timing and more as she struggles to make it across the road before the light turns red. But what's more important about this image is the fact that I chose the timing to shoot it. And I did so to isolate one single person within this composition. Simplifying the composition down in this way allows you as the viewer to concentrate on just that one thing. And it's far easier to understand than in this next photo, which is the street just moments before. And yes, this photo is completely unedited, but it shows the same crosswalk that we saw before with some, nice reflected light and interesting shadows and what have you. But there are just so many people in this image, and you don't really know what you're looking at. Where is the main focal point of this image? What is interesting about it? And as a viewer, how am I supposed to understand what the photographer is trying to say in this image if I don't even know where I'm supposed to look? This is the power of subject. And in this example, we have the power of timing working together to help accentuate the composition to find a single interesting subject. Okay, if you're enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button for me so I know it's good enough to make even more free videos just like this one in the future. All right, let's do a different example. So here we have an image, an epic image of my mate Mitch standing on a cliff that we found in the Dolomites in Italy. And yes, from a visual pattern perspective, we have scale and contrast and shadow and all of that good fun stuff. Now, sometimes you get images where there are really only a few ways to shoot it because it's just so obvious what to do and how you would modify the composition to really allow the subject to sing. But sometimes that might not be the case. You see, for this image, I took a lot of different compositions of Mitch here because it was just such an epic composition. And one of those compositions looked like this. Same spot, same camera, moments apart with slightly different composition and layout. And here you can see the relationship between what you shoot being the ceiling to how good your image can be, and how the visual pattern techniques that you use can elevate, or in this case, subtract from the subject. And yeah, if you can't see, Mitch is right there in the middle, and in this composition, I deliberately placed him in a brighter part of the snow in the background here to try and make him stand out just a little bit more, but still, this unedited image pales in comparison to the previous one. All right, next example. Dinner time in Tokyo. This is a pretty simple street shot, pretty straightforward one, where I was trying to get people and frame people within the pillars here, and I was waiting for a while, testing out different compositions, waiting for the right light, waiting for different people to come along, working the scene as they call it. And I got some good frames. And here is one of a salaryman walking by, and then, I got a businesswoman in business attire, and then a dude in black looking at his phone, and then a different woman in working attire as well. And they're okay. I mean, they have some visual patterns here that kind of elevate the composition more than it actually deserves. I'm using frames and, bright lights and contrast and really bright areas and really dark areas, but it wasn't until I waited for this couple to come along, an elderly couple looking at a menu, where I was like, all right, I got it. And now I can move on. And that's not to say that this image is super good or anything, but to me, in terms of subject, an elderly couple has a certain feel to it that feels more interesting to me than just some random person walking along because I needed someone to fill the frame. Now, if you know my work, I tend to look out for older humans in my street photography quite often because I find them just more interesting, right? Wrinkles and gray hair and a slow, carefree demeanor. To me, they feel like the types of people who have more stories to tell, more life to share, more experiences to pass on, and thus they are more interesting to me. That's why after this shot, I stopped and I moved on to the next image because I was satisfied with this location. And this is the power that selecting the right subjects has for your compositions. Now, as a photographer or a videographer, it's your job as the creator of that image to direct your viewer and show them what's important in your image and why. And that starts with what your subject is, and then it goes into how your subject is shot in the composition, and then it ends with what the viewer interprets the combination of those things to be. Your composition is always going to be limited by how strong your subject is, from both a perspective of how interesting that subject is and how easy the image is to understand overall. You know, when images have that X factor, when you look at an image and you're like, yeah, that's it, this is a good image. That image typically has a combination of a strong subject and strong visual patterns that help it sing. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video on subject in my beginner's guide series. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will try my best to get to them. All right, I'll see you in the next video. But until then, get out there and make something that matters. Peace.